Okay. Hey, it's a short week. We got Pittsburgh coming in. Where do we go from here is the question because I mean, I'm certainly in the camp that really thinks that that humiliating, embarrassing loss on Sunday killed the season. But there's still games to be played. um, and you know, I more than any game this whole season, I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea what we're going to see from the Vikings in this game. You come off a short week after a devastating loss like that. It could really go either way. Like you could rally or you could just implode. And like I'd be shocked if they got killed or something like that. But I mean, I guess I shouldn't be. If you can lose to Detroit, you can probably you can lose to anyone. You can get killed by anyone. Um, and even on the flip side from the Pittsburgh, they had a really tight rivalry game with Baltimore that they won right at the end, and now they're going on the road on a short week, so you don't really know what you're going to get from them. They like they're fighting for their playoff hopes too. So I have no idea what this game's going to be. It's like I think I think most people have just surrendered, including me, really. That for the most part, that the season is over and it's just a matter of is it official that Zimmer's out? Um, but you do have to play this out, and they're not dead yet. They're not mathematically dead. So, from the standpoint of treating this as a game that matters in a playoff race, I mean they're getting guys back. Pat P's coming back off COVID. I guess Kendricks and Barr are both going to be good to go. They weren't even on the last injury report that came out. Um, you know, so I mean, the defense was a fucking embarrassment at the end of the game last week, but they are getting three pretty damn important players back for this one. And certainly we know how important Kendricks is, so like you would have to think they're gonna put up a better showing here. Um, on offense, Thielen is out. I think that was expected. He's got the high ankle sprain, so he's going to be out for a while. He might. I wouldn't even. I really wouldn't count on him even after the not it's not a bye, but it's almost a bye. Because they don't play again until Monday of the next week. So, but I wouldn't even count on him then. Darisaw's out again. I've heard nothing, seen nothing about what they're planning to do with the offensive line. Maybe one of the most infuriating things about the last game was I didn't even see like any. I didn't even really see anything from Zimmer or really anyone explaining what the hell they were thinking with the offensive line, because that was a fucking joke, and I don't want to see Oli Udoh out there on a left tackle. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I want to see Rashad Hill out there. I would rather see Blake Brandel out there than Oli Udoh. Just I don't want to see it. I'm worried we're gonna see it. And Steelers have some pass rushers who can fuck us up, and probably will happen if you put Udoh out there again. And Thielen's out, but I mean, like, one of the positives I think from the last game is we saw that Jefferson can dominate even if Thielen ain't out there to kind of take the heat off him. So I certainly would expect them. They're going to factor in a lot of Justin Jefferson again. And it's like you go into these games at this point, and they're like, okay, are they gonna take advantage of what we've got? And the answer is almost always no. We're like, you can't trust Kubiak. You can't trust him. I mean, especially after last week. Like, what were they doing? Always playing the super conservative thing until their hand was forced, and then their hand was forced. They're down 14 points at halftime, and so they got to do it, and they could do it. We always see that they can do it, but they don't seem to want to do it. And like their season is as on the line as it gets, because not only are they, they're just hanging on there at like a 28% playoff odds at this point, but that goes down even further than if you lose to Pittsburgh. And I think there is a very legitimate chance that if they lose to Pittsburgh tomorrow night, that Mike Zimmer is not the head coach of this football team when they go to play on Monday night in Chicago. I really believe that. I really think they're gonna fire him, or they're gonna just basically tell him, you can resign or we're gonna fire you, and then maybe he'll resign. I really believe that, because even just the body language stuff from Zimmer, like he knows it's over, and he knows that really his only chance is to go on just one of the most unlikely late season / playoff runs that we've ever seen, maybe in the history of the NFL. Because I don't think even like sneaking into the playoffs still, and maybe even pulling off an upset like a couple years ago, and then getting bounced like a game after that, I don't even think that could save him at this point. But I kind of think they're going to win. I don't like. This is a bizarre team, incredibly up and down, and what would make more sense than to be the first victim of the Lions, and then 4 days later beat a playoff contending Pittsburgh team. But I do kind of think they're going to win. I think it's going to help a lot getting some guys back. I think being at home on the short week is a big help. I think it won't be easy. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Pittsburgh comes in here and wins, but I do kind of think they're going to win. And maybe I have a sickness, but if you look at the schedule, Washington's got to play Dallas. 49ers got to go play Cincinnati. We could be back in the playoff spot by the end of the week. What's really going to be strange is we got between this game and our next game, there's basically 2 whole weeks of NFL football that's going to take place. I didn't even look at the schedule for the week after. But all these teams that we're in the mix with, they're going to all play 2 football games between our next 2 football games. So we're really going to know before we even would take the field in that Monday night game. We're going to know if there's even still any hope. I was dinking around on the playoff predictor machine where you can plug all the results in and see what happens, and I think I got it to where there was like a 6-way tie at 8 and 9, and we got in. It's over. It is. Because you just can't trust them. We're so far into this season, you can't trust that they're going to suddenly flip the switch and finally start to really become the team that they should be. It's just not going to happen this year. I certainly don't think they're going to lose out. I think they are going to still pull off a few, 2-3 wins, but I think you're so far behind. Having lost some of these games, blowing that fucking Detroit game is so bad. It's so bad. If you were 6, who cares? If you just defend that last play, you're 6-6. You're at least, record-wise tied. And, you still have then these winnable games, and it's like you'd be in such a great position, but no, they couldn't fucking be bothered to play any defense on that last drive. And it's like they're throwing Dantzler under the bus. Like, I ain't even defending Dantzler, but it's like you called a timeout right before that play. It's like, why is Zimmer not getting that across to people that, here's what we want you to do? Unless they're just ignoring. Unless this is, what was it, 2016, end of the season, where the defensive backs are basically just ignoring Zimmer. Unless we've reached that point, but yeah, I mean, it's very unpredictable what we're going to see tomorrow night, but I do think they're going to win. I think they're going to win something in the 27-24 range. I think they're going to be able to play a little. They're going to be able to play some defense. I think they're going to be able to get after Roethlisberger because he's a fucking statue these days. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he's washed up, and I think they'll be able to get after him. They're probably going to run on us because everybody runs on us, and they'll get some plays. But I certainly think we are capable of making plays too, and we're at home, and it'll be primetime games, so everyone will be extra drunk, which could also go which also could also be a bad thing if this thing really goes poorly. And because the last game that I was at was the Halloween night game, and that crowd got rather salty as things were progressing very poorly. I certainly hope they play better than they did in the Dallas game, for God's sake. But I do think they are going to beat Pittsburgh. I really do. I'm not picking that ironically, like it's a bit like, no, I actually do think they're going to beat Pittsburgh. If this was in Pittsburgh, I wouldn't think that, but I think the fact that they're at home will be a bit of an edge, and we'll see what happens with some other things. I mean, basically all I'm hoping for at this point, just as like just to have interest. I just want can we at least get to like week 18 and have it matter? Like that's all I'm hoping for. I'd like to be able to head out to the bank for a week 18 game against the Bears and have it matter in some way for playoffs, even if I don't think that even making the playoffs matters for the future of Mike Zimmer. Maybe not even for Spielman. The fucking Cousins derangement syndrome is going all out again. So could do a whole nother video on the derangement syndrome. People fucking blaming Kirk for. Kirk Cousins is the only quarterback in the NFL who could throw, whose last pass of a game could be a go-ahead touchdown pass with under 2 minutes left, and then his defense blows the game, and people blame Kirk for it. It's pathological with some of these people. But I've made many videos about complaining about the Kirk haters, and I will make more. Yeah, so who knows what we're going to see in this game tomorrow night, but I do think they're going to win. I think it's going to be, it's going to be the usual nail biter, pull your hair out. I don't have much hair left, but, pull it out and see what happens, and, maybe some other games go our way, and we, keep the dream alive for a while, which I don't really know is going to happen, but I mean, some of these other teams don't have easy schedules down the stretch. When you lose to the Lions, you can't trust that a schedule is going to save you, but we do have some favorable games, and some other teams don't, and who knows. Let's at least win. Let's get a win. Let's at least get some positivity going.